BellaBeauteBar recently came out with the Crystallize palette. This isn't their newest palette anymore. They are coming out with a collab with Deandra Nicole called Pinky Promise, but this is the one I've picked up most recently. I got this from Glisten Cosmetics on a good 25% discount, so it was originally £75 and I got it for £56 something. If you want to find places other than Monolith that do indie palettes and indie makeup, then definitely check out Glisten Cosmetics. They have Unearthly, they have BellaBeauteBar, Blend Bunny apparently is going away, which is a real shame. But if you only want to get like this palette and you're not going to make it to free shipping on Monolith, then I would definitely recommend getting it from Glisten. They always have really good kind of codes and sales and things like that as well. This is what the palette looks like on the inside. It is absolutely beautiful. You can see why it's called the Crystallize palette. It's got some beautiful shifty shades in here. I'll show you some swatches. But this is a like cool toned colour lover's dream. So you're going to get 12 mattes in this palette, and then the rest are like shifty, beautiful shimmers. Like most palettes from BellaBeauteBar, they are really shifty shades. You get different textures in here. Some are a little bit more flaky like this one. Some feel more like your traditional shimmers, but they're highly metallic. I don't mean traditional as in kind of what I would call now almost like just a little bit above a satin. But they have some really beautiful formulas in this palette. I'm going to stop talking, and if you want to know how I got this look, what I think of the palette, and what else is on my face, then just keep watching. So first thing first, I'm just going to prime my eyes using the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. Taking a bit of Amethyst, and I'm just going to pop that into the crease. I'm just going to blend that out using circular motions, and I'm also using the EO8. This is a newer brush to my Singe collection. I'm really struggling to read these names on here because of the writing, but I'm going to take this lilac shade here, and I'm just going to start blending out the edges of the darker shade. I'm using the same EO8 brush. I'm going to take this shade here on an E11 from Singe, and I'm just going to start placing that on the outer corner just to deepen that area up a bit. That's really nice. It looks like a black and smoky plum. And I'm just going to take more of that first purple shade that we started with, and I'm just going to sandwich that in between the darker shade and the crease colour. We don't want any super harsh lines or anything. So I have got a little bit of fallout, which is why I decided to do my face makeup last, because I do know with some of these indie palettes it's not too bad, it's just that darker colour. I'm then going to go into this shade here called Jade, and I want to place that right here at the front. This shade does have quite a lot of kick up in the pan when you do tap in, so really tap your brush off well. I did just have a huge amount of fallout under my eyes from placing this here. And then with no further product, we're just going to try and like blend in between these two shades in the crease, just to get them to fade into each other a bit better. I want to take the shade here, which I think is called Sunstone. And I'm just going to use my finger for this, and I'm going to start placing this. This is an amazing shade. It has this flip between like gold to peach to bluey green. I'm just going to place that right in the centre of my eye. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but that flip is incredible. Now this is slightly flakier than the other shades, so again, you are risking fallout with it. So if that's something you worry about, then just do your face makeup after. Then I'm taking another brush that's new to me, and this is the Singe EO9. I basically got most of this. I think I got every brush from the second launch except the liner brush. And I'm going to take this purple shade here. I'm just going to put that in the front of the lid. Of course, we want to blend it in with that multichrome shade. I'm just going to take a little bit more of that multichrome on my finger, just if I feel like I've blended a little bit away, then just to brighten everything up. The next shade I'm taking is this dark shade down the bottom here. And again, I'm just going to take that on my middle finger, and I'm going to tap that towards my outer corner just to get a better blend. I'm just going to grab the E10 brush from Singe. All my eye brushes are from Singe, so just in case you're wondering, and that's Angelica Nick's brand. So Singe is Angelica Nyqvist's brand here on YouTube. She has gone part-time this year and I missed her uploads already. I think she was like definitely in my top 2 most watched channels. I just think she comes across as so like genuine and down to earth, and I love her personality. And obviously she does colourful makeup, which I'm a huge fan of. I know I put that lilac in there, but I almost feel like I want a tiny bit of pink. I think this is Rhodonite. I'm going to really tap off my brush because it is really pigmented, but I only want just a little bit on the outer edges of this purple. Yeah, I like that a lot. I know I've covered up a lot of that lilac colour I laid down, but it wasn't necessarily showing on me anyway because I used it as a blending shade and it is a pastel. Okay, that's the upper half of my eyes done. I'm going to go away, do the rest of my face makeup, and we'll be back to do the lower lash line. Okay, you can tell I haven't done this for a while because I forgot that I was recording, but what I did was I put this shade called Moonstain, this really cool shifty like white to pink to purpley shade in my inner corner here. I've re-intensified the jade colour because we lost a little bit of that intensity from the blending. We lost some pigmentation there. So now we're going to go back into this darker shade on a pencil brush and just run that on the outer half of my lower lash line. Then with a Singe EO1, I kind of want to go into this mermaidy shade here. Can't work out what it's called, but it's a really beautiful, another shifty shade. And I just want to put that on the inner part of my lower lash line. I'm just going to take that all the way to that darker purple shade we just applied and blend those together. It shifts from like a blue to a green to a purple, but on my eye you can see it on the camera, it just looks like a light kind of turquoisey shade. It's so pretty. And then for eyeliner, I'm going to use this shade from Colourpop. The name is Rubbed Off. It's one of their older multi-chromes. It has like a green to pinky purple shift. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that or not. We're going to use that in the waterline. I feel like it makes that multi-chrome pop even more. Now I want to take a little bit more of this Rhodonite shade here, right in this area here. So it kind of meets up with the top of my blush. Right, so this is my final look using the Crystallize palette by BellaBeauteBar. I'm pretty pleased because Sam came in and said I looked like, my eyes look like the Northern Lights, which is pretty awesome. Before I get into what my thoughts on the palette, let me just tell you what else I used on my face. I used the Maybelline 30 Hour Lumi Matte in 90. I think this is their lightest shade. For concealer today, I used a bit of, I'm testing an under eye corrector, and this is in Cherry Blossom Light by Huda Beauty. And so far I do really like it. And then I've used up the last of my Tarte Shape Tape. This is in 12B, which is slightly, or 12N, which is slightly too dark. It doesn't brighten as much as I want, so I've gone down to 8B, I think. For bronzer, I used my Charlotte Tilbury in medium. This looks like it's going to be really dark, but it's actually not that overly pigmented. I did have fair and I felt like it didn't really do anything considering how pale I am. For blush, I used the Huda Beauty Baby Pink Blush Filter palette. I really want to get the peach one of these. I really enjoy this palette. I think it is stunning. These go on quite sheer and you can build up the pigmentation. That's what I like about a good brighter blush formula, is that you can kind of build it up to the intensity that you like. Then I used the Skin of a Killer highlighter by BellaBeauteBar. This is from their last year's Valentine's Day collection, and that's what I've got on my cheeks. It's so pretty. So if you don't like sparkly highlighters, I probably wouldn't go near this, but it's stunning. And then lastly on my lip, I wanted a paler look so we could really focus on the eyes. So I've gone for Bones by Black Moon Cosmetics. Since Too Faced discontinued their melted liquid lipsticks, I've been looking for a formula that I love just as much as that, and I have to say I might love these more. They have a slight tack to them, but they don't feel overly dry, and they stay on the lips really well. So lastly, let's go on to the Crystallize palette. Now I got mine from Glitter Cosmetics. It retails for £75, but I actually got a 25% off, so mine came to about £55, £56. I have to say I really love this palette. I can't wait to do more looks of it. I did try and use as many shades as possible. I haven't really gone near this row here at all, but I've used a shade from each of these rows. I feel like there are so many possibilities with this palette. You can go for like a northern light style look. I think this palette would be great for an ethereal look as well. My favourite shade in the palette is this one here called Sunstone, just because of how shifty it is. It's just a really beautiful shade, and that's what's on the centre of my lid. I can't wait to dig into more of these purples, and I also can't wait to use some of these, like, I'm never really that excited about mattes as I am about shimmers, because I am a magpie, so my eyes are always directed to shimmers, but these mattes look really beautiful and exciting, and it's just a really nice, beautiful, wintry, cool toned palette overall. What I love about BellaBeauteBar is the different textures that you find in the palette of the shimmers. So you do have those more flaky shades, and your more kind of I don't want to say normal shimmers, because they're just not normal. They're so metallic and beautiful, but you guys know what I mean. You've got a mixture of, you've got such a good variety of shimmer shades. I love the BellaBeauteBar matte formula. I just it works really well. It's always worked really well for me. They blend out beautifully, they build up beautifully, and if you do lose a bit of pigmentation during your blending, they do build up again. So yeah, I can't wait to dig into this palette even more. I think this technically came out at the end of last year. This is the first palette I've tried of 2025, and I have to say we're off to a good start. I just really think it's really beautiful, and I feel like there were like endless possibilities as well. And also, can we talk about the packaging? It's just, I always feel like their packaging gets better and better. Anyway guys, those are my thoughts so far on the BellaBeauteBar Crystallize palette. I want to know now, have you tried this palette? What did you think of the formula? Do you think it's just as good as every other BellaBeauteBar palette? Maybe better, maybe worse? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I will see you in my next one.